Hello YouTube, it's Lucas No here from Aesthetics Interactive, and today's video is about something that is not really related to the media industry, but more about how to trust certain groups of people when it comes to information you're looking for a certain subject. For example, say you're looking for information about like how to do 3D modeling. You've never done 3D modeling in your life, and all you do, and you want to know how things are done properly instead of just being shown how to do things a certain way. There are always other alternatives around this. Now, most people generally, but it's not just that, but it's also to help you get into a kind of job that you want to get in as well. For someone like me, I've always wanted to be something like a teacher, someone who teaches the students who into the kind of field of work that I'm into, which is the media industry. It's kind of things like that this video is more tackling. So the argument or the question here is, how do you become a teacher? What is the requirements to become a teacher? Generally they say college and mainly university is one way to get into it. Yes, there are teaching courses in university, but that is for more of if you're like in secondary school or in primary school or elementary school if you're Americans, or kindergarten. The reason for most of those are for the lower end student teaching curriculum is on the principles that when you are when you're younger, you only learn the basics of certain subjects. So in universities they generally teach you a little more they basically teach you a little more basic information or education. I don't think that's a good thing, personally, but that's just me. Then again, if you are young, then you shouldn't be going into like high-end stuff anyways. Let me have a quick cup of tea. So, what makes a person in university or college, like a lecturer, important, and why does his words matter? Well, that can be taken in a whole lot of interpretations, to be honest. I mean, one of my lecturers who was our 3D lecturer who did 3D stuff, he originally started off as a photographer. Now, I do photography myself, but not on a professional freelance level, more of a basic. I mean, I've got my camera back behind me over there. I haven't been taking pictures lately because I still got photos on my SD card that I had to get off and look through so I can use it for future 3D environments. Yeah, I got a bit of water in my ear, so I just had a shower earlier, so it's fine. Well, I also had another lecturer who was basically just like started off as a lecturer assistant, doing education in teaching, but how does that make you qualified for teaching a certain subject? If they got qualifications, then you're technically allowed to teach in certain fields, as long as your education is up to the standards. For something like 3D, most people who you probably have learnt from on YouTube have either self-taught, freelancers, and people like that, which is not bad. It's not bad at all. I've got a bit of lag coming. I mean, look, my hand is now a lot more laggy than normal. So basically, what I'm here to actually talk about, I don't know why my computer's a bit playing up lately. Wow. So my voice is going to be a bit laggy, so I will apologise for that. So, what makes someone like me qualified for education or to teach people? I wouldn't say it's my credentials, because I have about God knows how many certificates or qualifications. I've got one for adult literacy. I have one for IT. I've even got, some of them are upside down. I've even got diplomas in creative media productions. In interactive media, there are two of these diplomas. One's a standard, and one's an extended. Oop, this camera's there. BTEC. That's for interactive media. This one is a creative media production. This is not interactive media. This one is more on the lines of TV and films. So that's video editing, camera operating, the works. As well as radio broadcasting and journalism. So yes, I do a bit of like looking through the news, seeing what information is, and then jotting down my own personal viewpoints and facts from. I can't exactly say facts because everything is all down to interpretation. So I would say my opinion on the situation in the area I live, and I compare what they're trying to portray to that. I do also have a certificate in mathematics and vehicle maintenance, which is motor mechanics. So those are my credentials. In theory, I could work in any fields regarding with vehicles, or working in the news outlet, radio station, all that stuff. But again, in practice, it doesn't really work like that, because we live in a society where who you know is more important than what you know. Now, I personally don't believe in such an idea. I believe in that you should earn your way through what you know instead of who you know. But that's just me. Everyone's different. Everyone's got a different opinion. I love my tea. But for someone like me, what would make me qualify for teaching something like 3D, or one of the reasons why do I do my 3D or this YouTube channel? This YouTube channel is non-profitable. I mean, yes, I do make money from it, but it's a very small amount of money because of how many network traffic comes through. For example, how many viewers come in, and I know that I won't be as big as most of those major YouTubers because they're all on a entertainment level. I am more for looking towards professionalism, and obviously with Media 101 you need to know your target audience, and my target audience would be anyone with an interest in 3D or media and things on that level. And there won't be that many people on YouTube into things like that. Most people are either into all that bullshit informations, like I can't exactly say sites like, well, channels like Screen Rant or the Talko and like that are bullshit. They just are. But I look for professionalism and base my information on sources and information I get from cross-references through the internet, through books, as well as through personal experience. I mean, I've done college for 3 years, I've done university for 1 year, I've done creative media production in both. I'm still waiting for my university qualification to come through. Still waiting for that one. I also have done freelance work on a production, which I have mentioned in the past as well. It's called Day It Rained in Colours. I actually got the DVD of it, which I got a free copy of because of my contribution to the work. I also got this like brochure, like pamphlet thing, which actually has my name right there. When it wants to zoom in. Come on, don't be an arsehole. Zoom in. Never mind. But basically, it's like the animation team from North Kent College. I did this when I was in college, and basically had our lecturers on here. We got the student names, and my name is on this list when it comes to the animation. That is my reference and credentials. My reference is this production. My credentials is my certificates and qualifications in creative media productions. By by theoretical definition, that makes me qualified to teach. To teach people with the works of 3D and animation. That's in theory. In practice, most people would see me as still young, still rookie, don't know what I'm doing, don't know what I'm talking about, because I haven't been in the industry long enough. I've already got one work done. I got a video gaming development. I have helped others, small-time developers, actually work on certain things they want, like animation and textures and things like that. I have helped to a point and things like that. I also have had my own radio show before, and I also have helped with a radio show. I was the travel correspondent, so I was the one who had to monitor traffic and talk about the traffic and things like that. But I also done like professional training into being a radio presenter and things like that. It does not explain why I have a microphone like this. It does not explain that this microphone is not because of radio broadcasting and things like that. It's nothing to do with that. This is just something to ensure that you can hear me a lot more clearer. Again, it all ties into professionalism and things like that. Just like I actually do have a HD webcam which is recording right now. It's a little lag at the moment because my computer is processing so much and it's making things lagging, including my camera. I don't understand why that's doing that. Maybe I need a new computer. I already know that, but the kind of computer I want is way out of my budget. I'm not looking at Alienware stuff. No, that is only good for gaming. I'm looking for things that is good for the work that I need doing, which is like 3D rendering and animations and things like that. So, back to the question today was, what makes someone qualified to teach? My personal opinion, it's not a facts. My personal opinion, however, is someone with experience in doing it, as well as having credentials, qualifications behind you as well to back it up. I've got the qualifications behind me in creative media productions from college and university. So that's one reason why I personally feel that I'm qualified. The other qualification and reference to why I feel that I have the rights to teach other people is because of personal experience. I have self-taught myself and been working in media for over 7 years now, and it was only last year when I actually did my first freelance work, my proper freelance work, which was The Day It Rained in Colours, which is got my name on it. It's got my work in it. I've been credited for it. I know the director and I know the person who wrote the actual novel of the thing. So that's my reference for things like that. I really need to invest in a better computer. The process is through the roof. But that is just my personal opinion. I don't say it's fact, because it all comes down to interpretations. In my personal opinion, though, as I'm saying, is I think to qualify to teach, you have to be able to have the qualifications and the experience behind you, and I have both of them. So by my definition, I am qualified to teach, and it's one of the reasons why I set up my YouTube channel, Aesthetics Interactive Studios, because of those two traits that I have. So it is more of demonstration videos, and as well as some minor tutorial videos and things like that. But it still comes down to the fact that the channel was made on the basis of people who's got the qualifications in that kind of field of work. So you, whether right or wrong, at least you know that when it comes to anyone who's a part of Aesthetics Interactive Studios, which anyone is allowed to join, Anyone's allowed to join. You just had to send me a message or an email, or even write pretty much anything like that, really, or even a comment. Just if you want to be part of Aesthetics Interactive Studios, you can just leave a comment. I would, however, advise that if you do want to be part of this channel, I do recommend people with the qualifications behind them in certain things like photography or art or even media, anything like that. If you've got qualifications behind things like that, then you are more than welcome to be a part of this channel, because I want this channel to be based upon people with the experience and the qualifications behind them in order to back up what they say. Right or wrong, because as again, it's all opinion based, but anyone with qualifications, I feel, should have the voice to say something when it comes to this kind of field of work, because they are the ones with the qualifications. So in theory, they should know what they're talking about. I never listened to my tutors, though. But God, did I not listen to them. The reason I didn't listen to them, because they did talk so much bullshit. So again, you can interpret how I say. You can say the things I'm saying is bullshit. That is completely up to you. Completely up to you. I am not going to say otherwise. It is a free country. You have the free rights to speak how you want. But if I did listen to my tutors, I would not have gotten the qualifications or the grades that I got. I mean, I got high grades in my college on the basis that I never listened to what my tutors have said. Never listened to them, and that is what gave me my high grades. Because I have a saying. I don't follow the trend. And the reason I don't follow the trend is because when everyone is all going down the same path, you end up losing your own creativity and your own ideas. You're doing what everyone else is doing to make them appeal to you. It's kind of like a collective group, a collective society. They want you to do what they do, otherwise you're an outcast and you don't belong. That sounds so familiar. Where have I seen such things come about? Oh, I wonder. I know for a fact that it can't be from the TV or on social media. Man, the fact is, it is from everything. Everyone always wants to follow a certain path because they believe in collectivism instead of individualism. I'm more of an individual person. I always do what I want to do. Within legal limits, obviously. Nothing bad or anything like that. For example, I have individual rights. I have the rights to make this channel. I have the rights to spout out information if I want. Whether it's right or wrong is up to the person's individual rights to choose if they want to believe it or not. Instead of thinking, oh, I can't agree to this because someone else said I shouldn't because I might be an outcast. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what they think. Just think about what you want and what you like. I mean, there were many things that I do see from other channels who are doing 3D stuff or media stuff. Some of them are not. Well, a lot of them don't really have a bias. A lot of people in that, which is a good thing. It's good not to be biased towards certain things. But I am a bit convinced that many channels, like the Timster or Blender Guru, are biased towards other 3D programs and focusing on Blender. As an unbiased person, I look at both software. I look at other software. I look at Blender, Maya, Houdini, 4D Cinema, or something like that, as well as 3ds Max and Motion Builder and things like that. I look at all different variety of 3D programs. I look at a variety of different game engines like the Unreal Engine 4, Unity, Blender Game Engine if you want to count that. I also look at things like the Rockstar Advanced Game Engine, the Euphoria Physics Engine, the Havoc Physics Engine, and stuff like that. You got all these different things. I look at all of them. I'm not biased against either one. They all have their speciality in certain things. The Unreal Engine 4, I feel, is more better when it comes to something a little more realistic. The only problem is a lot of people who now has that power to make games, which is the general public. Right or wrong, yes, I think it's a good idea to let other people try and be creative. But the problem is people are making games with these engines like the Unreal Engine 4. It's more looking like something that you get from like the Unity game engine, even though you can make good looking games with Unity. But most people make things all cartoony, or animation looking. That is because it all ties down to what's trending. Apparently everyone likes cartoon stuff. Yeah, youngsters, but older people like me, I can't say I'm old. I'm 23. I'll be 24 in about 11 days' time. So yay, I'm gonna be old. but regardless of that, basically, people from my age or older, basically 25 to 30, we grew up when video games were being built to look more realistic. To our eyes, the revelation and the evolution of video games was to see who can make the realistic looking game. Nowadays, it seems like developers are regressing instead of progressing towards realism and towards what's colourful and what looks humorous and what looks fun and things like that. No problems with that, no problems. Everyone's got different opinions, but it seems to be catering towards a certain group of people. That is bias. I don't try that. I actually have ideas of a strategy game that is obviously gonna be like low quality game, so it doesn't damage your computer so much or anything like that. That's just for a strategy game because I wanted to be something similar to the Civilization series. But I also got another game which is a first person shooter, which is to aspire to be ultra realistic, as well as the other video I made before, which was about my horror game. That is a bit in between what looks real and what looks fake. So again, it's looking. So I am categorizing my certain games that I'm making to certain audiences. But when you start catering or categorizing games that you generally expect to be realistic and moving it to cartoon looking, then it kills that genre. Developers don't want to admit it, but that kills the genres. I hardly buy any video games today because how they are making games today is not suiting the kind of design that I like. For example, Overwatch, very popular game. Yeah, when you're young and you're into anime and things like that. Again, it comes down to biases. They're looking at what people. You can't blame them for looking at their target audience. Don't get me wrong. They have every right to look at a target audience. But when they make it into a genre where the genre of those target audience are meant to be all hardcore people, and completely changing it, it's just like feminism in the media industry. They come in and change things, and all of a sudden we got that shitty movie called Ghostbusters, the new one, not the old one. The old one's amazing, but we got that new Ghostbusters movie, which is just completely shit. It really is. I'm sorry to say, that might upset everyone. Wonder Woman, I haven't seen it, but I heard it's a great movie. Again, people will say, oh yes, that's feminism, women power. No, because you can't necessarily have Wonder Woman looking like a man. It's biologically speaking, you just can't. But that is pretty much the problem that I have with the media industry. Where do you draw the line? My argument is, where do you draw the line in the media industry when things that are political come in and things that are for the media only, like through gameplay and entertainment? Where do you draw the line between the two? I mean, I know this is now turning into a kind of political video, but that is because the way the world is going at the moment, the way when you got these things like Black Lives Matter people and the feminist groups and the LGBT communities and people like that all trying to push their agenda into the gaming industry and the movie industry, it starts messing with my career, with my work, and so it will eventually come in. They're all kicking off about there's not many women protagonists. Oh no, of course not. That's why we had like Tomb Raider and stuff like that. We got you got Tomb Raider, Alice. I can't remember the name of that woman, but she's from I think Perfect Dark Zero. And Resident Evil. That's got a lot of female protagonists in there, especially, I mean, you got like Claire Redfield, Jill Valentine, and people like that. If you're looking at the movie as well, you got like, what's her name? Milo Jovovich, I think. I can't even remember her name, Jesus. But you got all these women in these as well. I mean, even in Mass Effect, you can play as a female protagonist by choice, and you even can choose if you want to be homosexual or bisexual and things like that. So that is where there's nothing wrong with that. They come in at their own time. They shouldn't be forced upon into these things like now. That is the issue I've got, is where people are looking at things and they want it in now instead of waiting for it. It comes in time. But when you have activists start messing around with my field of work, which is the media industry, then that's when it starts getting political. And that's when the problems start arising. That is why I believe the video game industry is actually going down, because you got activists coming into our industry or wanting their agenda put on, so the whole population sees it all and things like that. And I'm not thinking, you have to draw the line between realism and fictional and what's fun and entertaining. I'm sorry to say this, but when you start putting political things in, you start making it less fun and entertaining. Like I said, this is why the gaming industry is falling, to be honest, and why there's a more increase. Why there's a more increase in indie games, because activist groups like the LGBTQ community and the feminist groups, they have basically hijacked mainstream media and mainstream video games like AAA games. They came in and took them over, and that is why the indie game side is rising. It's kind of like as the right-wing politics and right-wing supporters are saying, it's a counterculture. It's a counter against the left-wing agenda. It's the same thing in the gaming industry. Indie games is the counter to AAA games, and the reason that is because AAA games are not catering to everyone or the right people, and what they're doing is they are destroying the industry. That's all I've got time for, unfortunately. I mean, I've been talking for about almost 30 minutes. So yes, I'm gonna leave the video here now. I might make more of these video logs, because I think they're quite fun and it's good to actually get people that understand who I am, see what I do, see what I'm like, and see basically the real person behind the development of this channel. So thank you for watching, thank you for listening. Again, if there was lags in this video, I do apologise. It's just my computer has been playing up lately. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I rendered for so long that it's probably damaged it, but the odds of that ain't the case, because my games still work fine. So I'm Lucas No from Aesthetics Interactive Studios, and I will see you guys later.